It is my pleasure to call tonight's board meeting to order, and I want to welcome all of you here tonight. And we are going to begin as we normally do. I would like for you to rise and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance with us, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag to the republic, nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. If you would remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Ms. Parker, roll call, please.
Chair Warden,
Present.
Dr. Sheila Williams,
Present.
George Archuleta,
Here.
Virginia Houston,
Present.
Pam Perezza. Here. Rodney Walton,
Present.
and Daniel Spence.
Present.
And our student board members.
Gracie Wooten
Here.
and Holly Weiss.
Present. Thank you. Board Member Houston, could you provide the ethics, awareness, and identification of conflicts or potential conflicts of interest statement, please?
Welcome to the October 24th, 2022 meeting of the Elizabeth City Pasco-Tank Board of Education. It is my duty to remind members of the board that it is our responsibility Can you hear me now? Okay, thank you. Welcome to the October 24th, 2022 meeting of the Elizabeth City Pasco-Tank Board of Education. It is my duty to remind members of the board that it is our responsibility to avoid all conflicts of interest and potential conflicts of interest in accordance with Chapter 138A of North Carolina General Statutes. As public servants, it is our duty to continually monitor, evaluate, and manage our personal, financial, and professional affairs in such a way as to ensure the absence of conflicts or of potential conflicts. Does any member know of any conflict of interest or potential conflict of interest with respect to any matter coming before the board this evening? Let the record reflect that no conflicts exist.
And now I need a motion from the floor for the approval of the agenda. And a second.
Second. Do we get it first?
Yeah.
First. Okay, second.
Give a motion, please.
You got
No,
a
we
motion.
didn't get a
There's a
motion.
motion.
I'm sorry. I thought you said.
I haven't been in a
Yeah.
while.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We've had a motion to approve the agenda and a second. May we have a roll call vote?
Dr. Sheila Williams, George Archuleta,
Yes.
Virginia Houston,
Yes.
Pam Perezza,
Yes.
Rodney Walton, and Daniel Spence.
Yes.
And at this time, I'm going to turn the program over to Dr. Parker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are excited and honored to be here at the historic Sheep Harney Elementary School tonight. And I want to thank Dr. Waples and the wonderful Sheep Harney staff and students for hosting the board meeting here tonight. We do want to take this opportunity to recognize this amazing school and the students and staff that work here and go here every day. And so to do that at this point, we are going to bring forward Dr. Waples, who has some recognitions that she's going to share with us this evening. So let's give a round of applause for Dr. Waples so she can.
to multitask here. Good evening, Chair Warden, Vice Chair Dr. Williams, board members, Superintendent Parker, and our entire ECPPS community. My name is Dr. Katina Waples. I am the proud principal here at Sheep Harney Elementary School and the super proud ECPPS Principal of the Year. This year, our goal at Sheep Harney is to let our hard work and commitment to excellence speak for itself. While each of our key stakeholders at Sheep Harney are worthy of recognition, last year, our school exceeded growth standards set by the North Carolina Department of Instruction by nearly 2 years in reading and 6 years in math. We are super proud of these accomplishments. Guys, you can clap, like this is exciting. Tonight, I have the distinct honor of recognizing a select group of our staff, parents, and students for their commitment to excellence throughout the school. By all measures, each of these recipients are worthy of honor. First, I'd like to recognize Ms. Danielle Wisner. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Ms. Danielle Wisner as our Pre-K Teacher of the Year. Ms. Wisner has served in the program for 4 years as a teacher assistant and the last 8 years as a lead teacher. She represented our school very well and was named district finalist for the Teacher of the Year. Also, each year, Ms. Wisner leads our school Week of the Young Child celebration that involves stakeholders. Her leadership for this event is invaluable. Mrs. Wisner is a reflective practitioner who immerses herself in instruction. She is an organized and skillful teacher. She provides her students with all the right tools to succeed in their educational experience. Thank you, Ms. Wisner, for your commitment to excellence for our school. Ms. Wisner, come on up. Would you like to go back some? The board would like to take a picture with you. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Mrs. Raby as our K-5 Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Raby is a kindergarten lead teacher, grade level chair, and our current K-5 Sheep Harney Teacher of the Year. She has been in education for a total of 14 years, 5 years as a teacher and 9 years as a teacher assistant. She explains her why as being the fact that she loves Sheep Harney because of the diversity of families that we serve. She loves seeing our students grow, and she loves when our students have that infamous aha moment. Thank you, Mrs. Raby, for your commitment to excellence in our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Mrs. Rosalind Nixon as our Pre-K Beginning Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Nixon has served in our program for 10 years, with 8 of those years as a teacher assistant. Mrs. Nixon is a kind, humble, and hardworking teacher who will brighten your day with her megawatt smile. When the school day is over, Ms. Nixon isn't done working yet. She heads to another child care facility and she works hard to improve the lives of those students. She absolutely loves our children and has dedicated her career to ensuring students have a great learning experience. We look forward to Mrs. Nixon's bright light of years to come. Thank you, Mrs. Nixon, for your commitment to excellence in our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Miss Ebony Reed as our beginning K-5 Teacher of the Year. Miss Reed has been in education since 2015 as a bus driver, and she made the loving mistake of being such an excellent substitute teacher during her first week of working in the district by sharing her wow factor with us that we offered her a teaching position. She has been rocking it out ever since. Miss Reed states that she wants the world to remember her as being an educator who had perseverance and the utmost dedication to our students and their success. She is also a fashion trendsetter. Thank you, Miss Reed, for your commitment to excellence in our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Mr. James Harris as our TA of the Year. Mr. Harris has been working at Sheep Harney for 4 years. We all refer to him as our multitasker, ultimate helper, and the person that we can always count on to jump in and help whenever and wherever he's needed. When asked what he wants people to remember about him in 100 years when they read his book, he states that he wants the world to know that he cared about people, especially our students. He prides himself on being a team player and improving our school. Thank you, Ms. Harris, for your commitment to excellence for our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Mrs. Yolanda Banks. Mrs. Banks has been employed in our district since 1998. She started as a bus driver and became our school manager in 2006. Since 2006, she and her team have served 16 years times 185 times 550 students, 1.68 million delicious meals. Students, staff, and parents brag about the restaurant-style meals that are served with love in our cafeteria each and every day. Thank you, Mrs. Banks, for your commitment to excellence in our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Mr. Breon Fulford. Mr. Fulford has been working for our district for 26 years, and he served in the capacity of head custodian for 12 years. When asked what the most rewarding part of his job is, he states he loves staying focused on the kids and making sure that they have the cleanest and safest environment possible, with pride in the utmost professionalism. Mr. Fulford keeps our school looking like the Taj Mahal with white glove inspection standards. He is the ninja custodian. Whenever you think that you just saw him, he runs around and he's doing something in front of you. Him and his team are dedicated to making sure that our floors are always shiny as glass and everything is super clean. Thank you, Mr. Fulford, for your commitment to excellence in our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Ms. Francine Pierce. Ms. Pierce is a retired teacher from ECPPS and has served as a substitute for pre-K to 5th grade for 12 years. She will work whenever and wherever she is needed. Ms. Pierce hung in there with us during the pandemic and served as a long-term sub in the pre-K program. She always has kind words and a spirit of love whenever she greets you. We feel fortunate that she wants to work every day in our school and would not want it any other way. Thank you, Ms. Pierce, for your commitment to excellence in our school. Thank you, Ms. Pierce. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Ms. Janet Johnson. Mrs. Johnson has been employed with our district for 18 years and has been at Sheep Harney for 7 years. She was our 2021 TA of the Year. She loves working with people, loves being a helping hand to our staff and our community, wants our students to do great things in all areas, and she has the best sense of humor. She is the school mother. She loves everyone in our school family, and she provides them with excellent differentiated small group instruction all day long. She has high expectations, and she wants the world to know that you have to do great things now and forever. Thank you, Mrs. Johnson, for your commitment to excellence for our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Mrs. Tammy McCoy. Mrs. McCoy has worked in the developmental day pre-K classroom for 14 years. This classroom is blended with special needs children and typical developing peers. Mrs. McCoy is skillful in helping children with autism succeed in a regular classroom. She is always researching and reading articles to gain strategies to help her students succeed. Her commitment to education continues even during the summer months when she works at a local child care center in order to prepare those students for the upcoming school year. Additionally, she is an excellent mentor and works very closely with her mentee to ensure her success in the classroom. We are thankful for Mrs. McCoy, and we want her to continue to lend her expertise to our program. Thank you, Mrs. McCoy, for your commitment to excellence in our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Mrs. Rosemary McPherson. Mrs. McPherson has been driving school buses for 26 years. She does an excellent job of ensuring our students arrive at school on time and back home safely every day. Like the United Postal Service, rain or shine, she always delivers. She truly loves our children as they were her own. She works really hard to build relationships with each of our students and their families. When they are not on the bus in the morning, she will always open the door and let you know that they have an appointment or they're sick, but they will be at school by X time. And she is always right. There's absolutely nothing that she would not do for our students or our staff. She is truly a beautiful gem, and we are blessed to have her as part of our school family. Thank you, Mrs. McPherson, for your commitment to excellence at our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Ms. Selmeyer, who we affectionately refer to as Miss S. Ms. S is in her 7th year with the pre-K program. She served 6 years as a teacher assistant and transitioned to lead teacher role at the beginning of this school year. Ms. S is a calm, cool, and collected with a given heart soul. She will help anyone in need. Ms. S is very involved and a very creative teacher. She often provides unique experiences for our children in her classrooms. We are proud of her work and look forward to seeing the great things that she'll continue to do in the future. Thank you, Ms. S, for your commitment to excellence at our school. Sheep Harney would like to recognize Ms. Dawn Stallings. Ms. Stallings is our instructional coach. Like many of our key stakeholders, Ms. Stallings has a vested interest in our school. In fact, Ms. Stallings attended kindergarten at Sheep Harney and then went on to be one of the first graduating class at Pasquotank County House School. Ms. Stallings has been employed in our district for 16 years, and her roles have included being an ECTA at the high school, EC job coach, ECK5 TA, a teacher, and now our amazing instructional coach. She is hardworking and dedicated and destined to make sure every day is a success for everyone. She wants our teachers to be effective and truly is motivated by how our students working hard to achieve great things. As an instructional coach, you will find her doing it all with a smile, finesse, and even with those 6-inch heels on. Her students say that Ms. Stallings genuinely cares about them, and her goal is for them to do great things throughout their lives. She is truly an asset and a treasure at our school. Thank you, Ms. Stallings, for your commitment to excellence at our school. Although all of our parents are truly a blessing to us, they send our students, their children to school every day ready to learn, and they are fabulous partners with us. Tonight, we would like to recognize 3 parents who are pillars in our Sheep Harney parent community. They are always involved with school functions. Mrs. Caitlin Sawyer, Mrs. Alexis Cuffey, and Mr. Scott Collins. Mrs. Sawyer and Miss Cuffey are leaders with our PTO and are mighty with making things happen. Mr. Collins is one of the most devoted, hardworking grandparents who not only is very involved with our school, he also drives our school bus for us and is willing to drive for field trips whenever we need him. Thank you to Mrs. Sawyer, Ms. Cuffey, and Mr. Collins. Thank you for your commitment of excellence to our school. Maybe. Thank you, Mr. Collins. In the category of students exceeding excellent, it would be very easy to recognize all of our students for their hard academic work, excellent behaviors, amazing social skills, and their overall great sense of pride in our school, especially since it is their hard work that ultimately shows the world the true results of what amazing teaching and learning looks like at Sheep Harney each and every day. Our students work hard to exceed growth, and we are proud of them. Tonight, we are recognizing 8 students who consistently and pervasively are true role models and exhibit the core attributes of what students exceeding excellence looks like. These students are, please come up as I call your name, Amy Williams in pre-K, Chase Richardson, hold on one second. Ava Semino in 3rd grade, Avery Sawyer in 3rd grade, Matthew Staten in 4th grade, Ethan Hines in 5th grade, Chanel Vargas Torres in 5th grade, and Jacque Veal in 5th grade. Here you go. She's so cute. Thank you for being.
Teachers, line them up. Caroline.
Chair Warden, Vice Chair Dr. Williams, board members, and Superintendent Dr. Parker. That is all of the recipients of the commitment to excellence for our school. Thank you very much for allowing us this time to show off our students, staff, and parents. Want to do that?
Do you want your computer?
Oh, I
No.
see. No wonder.
Do you
She can
project your?
still find it. Oh, no.
I don't,
She should be able to, yes.
let me try again. Try.
The video.
Okay.
Video.
What? Soon to say,
Can I go get a tissue? Can I go get it? There, oh, right there.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, no, I'm good. It was just a little bit.
Okay.
She did.
I
Okay.
hope so.
Are you all right? Oh.
What?
You all right?
Oh, yeah, I just had a little.
Madam Chair, I want to, we'll continue on here. I want to thank all of our parents and our students. We now tonight, as our parents are exiting, I will say that we're going to provide all of these photographs online. So I'd invite anybody to feel free to ask us, and we'll be glad to send you a copy of your child's photo tonight. There is one more recognition that I would like to share before we go into our instructional highlight for Sheep Harney. And I would, in just a moment, like to ask Dr. Waples to come back. But Dr. Waples has been chosen by her peers as the 2022-23 Principal of the Year for Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools. So if you give her a round of applause for that recognition. And Dr. Waples, as you know, is an outstanding educator, and she really leads this school as she would her home. This is something, this school is, Sheep Harney is a place where she cares deeply about the success of the students and staff here. And if you just take a moment and walk through these hallways during the day, you can see the dedication that she pours into the school. And so we want to say, Dr. Waples, thank you for everything. And your commitment, dedication to the school does not go unnoticed. And so we want to thank you for everything you do. And we'd love to take a photograph with you and the board. So we're going to, I would imagine, unless Carolina has a different alternative, we can make the center fold work right here. All right, let's make that work. Dr. Waples, let's come up here, and we'd love to take a photograph with you to recognition. Board like to join. We'd love to take.
Oh.
Three rows. How's that look, right? Thank you, Dr. Wade, for to be recognized in front of folks. So she's probably going to get me for doing that later, but that's something that was well deserved there. We do want to now move into our instructional highlight, and that does focus on Sheep Harney this evening. And so we spent some time with Dr. Waples last week and recorded some video footage from some of her classrooms and really spent some time in the school. We want to play that video for you tonight to highlight really the amazing things that do go on at Sheep Harney. And so we'll play that video here, and after the video is over, Dr. Waples will be at the podium, and we'll love to take any questions or comments from the board based on the focus that we have at Sheep Harney this year for instruction. So we'll go ahead and move to the video now.
Our staff, our students, and our family are excited. COVID did some things to us, kept us home for a year and a half. Only 28% of our kids returned to school, but now that we're back 100%, last year we exceeded growth, almost 7 years in math, 2 years in reading, and we're super excited about this year's future. We are being strategic, methodical in everything that we do. Our goal is to make sure that our students are academically, behaviorally, culturally ready for success in the world. We're using data to make sure that all of those things speak for themselves. In classrooms, you're going to find that our students are ready to learn. Our teachers are super excited. They are working hard. They're using small group instruction to deliver the education that our students need. Our students are receptive and our teachers are really working hard. They are passionate. They realize that we are, our kids, as game changers. We're the dream makers. At Sheep Harney, whether you're visiting a kindergarten class, a teacher assistant small group, or a fifth grade class, you're going to see strong instruction. We do small group instruction every single day. Our students get rotations with the teacher, independent work to guide some of the instruction they receive, and then they have time to work on technology and do some other creative things on their own. They are really making it happen in every single classroom. And we're just not doing that. We're being methodical and strategic in every single thing that we're doing. Nothing that we do is haphazard. It's very planned and thoughtful.
All I've done all my life is work with children, and I just love to see them grow. So small group rotation works. It really does work. You're more one-on-one with the students, or like you see here, I have 4 in my group. And I try to keep it to a minimum of 5, so they can have my attention and I have their attention.
At Sheep Harney, we've been doing small group instructions for several years. This year, we're working hard to delve deeper into the standards, making sure that we build the capacity of our teachers, make sure that their teaching and their knowledge is at maximum level, so that way when they teach our students are really getting the best instruction possible. So that way we can move our students from high achieving to exceeding growth in every area, every classroom throughout this building. We want to be consistent in everything that we do.
We have iReady, we have our homework lessons, we have the teachers to help us, they help us be on track. I look forward to coming to school every day. This school makes you feel safe. The teachers are very encouraging, but they just want the best for you, as that is what the main goal in this school is.
Like Ms. Reading, she is like the teacher that would help you with anything, and that's why I love the spirit for helping. Don't you pour you?
We are really excited. It's going to be a great year. Fabulous things are happening here at Sheep Harney.
All right, let's recognize Sheep Harney. Hold it. And if the board has any, we're doing one more. Okay, we actually have one more video for you, Dr. Waples. Here we go.
My name is Dr. Christina Jones Waples. I am the proud principal of Sheep Harney Elementary School. I am elated to be the 2023 ECPPS Principal of the Year. At our school and throughout our district, we have a vision for our students. We keep our students number one in all that we do. They are our priority. We want to make sure that they have a school that is safe. We focus on academics, behaviors, culture, climate, and then we make sure that we have the data that justifies everything that we do in our buildings. Through leadership, we focus on instruction, teacher effectiveness, and ultimately student performance outcomes. I'd like to thank our students, our staff, our parents, our community, our central office staff, and the other principals and administration throughout our district. Without all of you, none of this would be possible. As a team, we do great things together. I am so excited to be our 2022-23 ECPPS Principal of the Year, where we make great things happen. We are difference makers and game changers for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. And we surprised you with that last one there. We didn't let you preview that one. That was a surprise. But Dr. Waples is available if the board has any questions or comments.
That it-
I don't have a question. I definitely have a comment. I just want to not only congratulate you, but thank you for the years and the commitment you've had to this district and how you embrace the children here. I have a student at this school, and just to be in the classroom and watch them learning and engaged, just as one said, she looks forward to coming to school, and I could see that in the classroom. So I just want to thank you for your leadership, all that you've done, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I echo that. One of the most impressive things in that video to me are the children who commented on how much the school means to them and how much it means to them to be here and to be safe and to be in an environment that encourages excellence. So thank you. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for your leadership and for being there for our children and our future. We appreciate you. Now go on and let's become regional principal of the year and step it up to state principal of the year.
I too want to say congratulations. Just like those two ladies just said, the fact is, when I'm in the community, I hear people coming and talking about Sheep Harney. And the thing that amazes me, my wife would tell me, Daniel, people don't have to speak good about you. So when I hear people speaking good about Sheep Harney and they don't know necessarily that I'll go back and tell you, that's amazing that people are proud to talk about. Yes, we have some things in the district we need to work on, but we have a lot of things that we should be proud of. And Sheep Harney and Dr. Waples is one of those things we should be proud of. So we thank you for all of your hard work, for you and your staff that y'all put in, because we know they work hard to get you to where you are as well. So thank you so much.
They do.
And I have to take this opportunity to say something. I started my career in Elizabeth City at Sheep Harney Elementary School. And it was a wonderful place in which to work then. My child also started here from her very, 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 very beginning before she entered any classroom, if you understand what I mean. And so, and she finished here, even though I couldn't stay through her graduation. But Dr. Waples, I really do appreciate the few times that I've had the opportunity to walk these halls since you've been here. I see the enthusiasm from the teachers, but I also see it from the children. I read last year doing the Dr. Zeus period, and oh my goodness gracious, those children were just so on top of it. It was a first grade classroom, and I declared to them they apparently had moved on to third grade because they were so sharp. So I just appreciate all that you do for the children, for the parents, and for the entire community for ECPPS.
Doctor, I guess there's no more to say, but thank you. But one other thing that really impressed me was how it seems you got your staff to buy into your system. And to me, that's the main thing of success, is once you get your staff to buy in and you're a team, not an individual. So I think you did a great job.
They're amazing. I mean, they really are. It's the people that were all, I don't know where they went. Amazing ones. I'm the one that just dreams it up, and they really do make things happen at every level, sincerely, from the cafeteria, our custodians, our TA, our teachers, our bus drivers, our parents, our students. Like, I could just rave about them for hours. They are just amazing. They are really just we make a great team. We really do.
Dr. Waples, just to add to what Mr. Spence said, we really do hear a lot of positive things about this school, and you really have turned things around, because there was a day and time when there weren't so positive things said, and we had some challenges here, and you really have done an amazing job.
Thank you.
And Dr. Waples, I guess I'll wrap it up. Teamwork makes the dream work, and you're definitely showing it here at Sheep Harney. Thank you again for all that you do for our students in ECPPS.
Thank you, sir.
That concludes the instructional highlight, Madam Chair.
Next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of things here. I want to highlight that on October 20th, which was last Thursday, we had a teacher work day, but we also hosted our first professional learning conference that we've called Ignite ECPPS. And so we're very excited about this. We were actually had over 600 participants. So all of our teachers, teacher assistants, senior instructional staff in the district were invited to attend. And we offered over 86 different sessions, and our teachers were able to choose the sessions that they attended. And we had a range of sessions from learning about our new instructional framework that we've launched that is a part of the district improvement plan that we presented to board meet or at the last regular meeting last month. We had sessions on mindfulness and resilience, on using data, on engaging kids with computers and technology programs. And so just some really, really good sessions. We received a lot of positive reviews from our teachers in the feedback survey. And one of the things that I'm excited and proud about is the majority of those 86 sessions were offered by our own teachers and leaders in the district. And so what that says to me is we have some amazing educators here, and we don't have to go outside of the district to bring people in. We've got talent here that we can utilize, and we were able to do that with our own educators and let them lead sessions to their peers. So I just think that's a wonderful thing. And we want to continue Ignite ECPPS down the road. We've looked at how we could host another session. This session was a half-day session. So we went from 8 o'clock to 12:30, and then teachers were released back to school so they could have the rest of the day to work in their classrooms, because those teacher work days are valuable days, and they mean a lot to teachers to be able to have classroom time. So we're looking at expanding this down the road and possibly next year, but had a really great day. Wanted to share that. Just a couple of the brief things here. Report cards do go home on the 26th, which is Wednesday of this week. So the grading period ended on the 19th. Report cards go on the 26th. So any parents that are out there, definitely be checking Parent Portal by the time the 26th gets here, and you can check your child's report card on Parent Portal, but you will also be sending home a paper report card as well. November 8th is a teacher work day, and then November 11th is a holiday, which is Veterans Day. So I want to make those two announcements on the calendars there. Again, let me just echo again my thanks to Sheep Harney and Dr. Waples for hosting us, and to Dexter and Caroline and Ms. Parker and everyone else that helped set up. We are going to be holding each of the regular board meetings at our schools, and today marks the first time when we've gone to a different location. Last month, we recognized Pasquotank Elementary and P.W. Moore, but it was at Pasquotank Elementary multi-purpose. So this is our first sort of away game, if you will, but I'm really excited about moving around to the schools so we can be in beautiful facilities like this historic auditorium here. But also it requires an additional amount of setup on our team and the schools to do that. So I want to thank everybody that helped prepare today to get us out here. So thank you for that. And that includes everything I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Now we're going to turn over to our student board members. And I believe last month, I had Northeastern's Grace present first, going alphabetically by the schools. So this time I'm going to turn to Holly from Pasquotank County High School to present first. So Holly, take it away.
Thank you. Today I would just like to give an update. An update to the activities that have been going on during the month of October. So first, our teachers at PCHS are focusing on analyzing and making decisions based on student data, and students are paying attention to their own data. We are also in the process of finishing up NC check-ins for EOC subjects. On October 15th, we hosted our annual Panther Band Classic. The 8th annual Panther Band Classic band competition was a huge success. This year, 14 bands came from Northeastern North Carolina, Raleigh, Southeastern Virginia. They all came to Pasquotank County High School to compete for the Milton H. Sawyer Jr. Award for Band of the Day. We concluded the night with exhibition performances from Northeastern High School, Pasquotank County High School, and Christopher Newport University. This year's Panther Band Classic was our best yet. From our biggest overall number of bands, which was 17, the competition was a huge success. Mr. Stanley and the PCHS bands would like to thank everyone who was involved with organizing and assisting with the Band Classic. Next, I have spoken with Ms. Luton last week. She is our career development coordinator. We wanted to highlight some college and career events that have been going on around our school. The week of October 17th started our College and Career Ready Week. On October 17th, we had a mini college and career fair where there were representatives from the Marines, Navy, Army, Coast Guard, NC Works Next Gen, MACU, COA Admissions, COA Health Sciences, and COA Business Information Technology. We had great attendance and student participation at this fair. Upcoming events include the College Career Fair trip to MACU on the 25th. Also, our school is working on hosting a Reality of Money event at ECMS for the 8th graders. The goal of this is to teach financial literacy, and the event is being hosted in conjunction with the State Employees Credit Union. I also spoke with Ms. Moss, our AIG facilitator for both PCHS and ECMS. Some things we would like to highlight at PCHS include 26 students with a GPA of 3.5 or higher have all been nominated to apply for governor's school. They have been given the applications and parents have been notified via email. We hope to see some great applicants this year. There are also several students who are waiting for decisions on credit by demonstrated mastery in order to accelerate through coursework in which they already are proficient. And lastly, I would like to highlight our DECA Toys and Treats Night, which we had this past Thursday. It was a huge success, and we look forward to all events in the future.
Holly, I have one question about the college and career fair.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the grade level for the students who attended?
The event was open for all students.
All
it was held
students.
during all 3
Okay.
lunch periods.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight just seems like a night to highlight everything that's happened over the past month. And to me, that is just so exciting. And it's also really like warming to be able to share Northeastern's highlights. So over the past few weeks since our last board member, everything at Northeastern has seemed to flow nicely, which is something I highly appreciate as a student there. I would like to just share a few highlights over the previous week. So last week was Northeastern's homecoming week. It was filled with Spirit Week. I think there was Career Day. You could dress as a toddler or an old person. That was fun watching people walk around in nightgowns and pacifiers in their mouth. Plenty of photos that we have for that. I can probably share the drive with y'all after this meeting. I just love seeing students participate in Spirit Week activities because it really just captures school spirit to me. And now it may be ridiculous and we may look ridiculous with hair up and rollers and pacifiers in our mouth, but if that's how you can show school spirit, I say go for it. That following Friday, we had our homecoming game against Curry Tuck, which we took the win, thank goodness. And they also announced our homecoming court nominees. That was really fun to watch those people get nominated for that. Then that Saturday, there was a homecoming dance, which that was the first that I had known of them having in my all 4 years of high school. I didn't attend, but I heard it was a lot of fun. And then, let's see. I also have just really appreciated seeing school board members at school, like during the day, checking in classrooms and at sporting events. Dr. Keith Parker, I saw you at the football game on Friday night. So I thought it's just great seeing people out in the community and supporting Northeastern and Pasquotank because, you know, I'm not a rival. I love all schools. Lastly, this past week was also College App Week at Northeastern. And I would just like to give a very big thank you to Kevin Chapman, our guidance counselor, and Courtney Simpson. She's the career coordinator. They put in so much work that week at our school, dealing with all of these students who are stressed about college apps and scholarships and answering the same question 20 times, especially for me because I was in there almost every day. But they were just so diligent and hardworking with us, and I just really appreciate that out of people and staff at Northeastern. So I would just like to shine a little bit on Northeastern. It's been a great month. A lot has been done. It's been very chaotic, but chaos always isn't bad. So I think I'm just really proud of how Northeastern is going right now. So that's all I have for tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Grace. It's great to hear that things are going so well. That makes us all smile too. So keep up the good work. All right, now we need a motion from the floor to approve the minutes for the various meetings that we've had.
Can you hear me now?
Loud
From
clear.
the October committee meetings and from the both committee and general meetings for September.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we accept the approval of the minutes. Can we have a roll call vote on that? Ms. Parker?
Dr. Sheila Williams, Yes. George Archuleta,
Yes.
Virginia Houston,
Yes.
Pam Present,
Yes.
Rodney Walton.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. We do not have any public comments, correct? Okay. So we're going to move on and we are going to call on Miss Rachel Haynes, who is our Assistant Superintendent of Finance, to give several reports.
Chair Warden, Vice Chair Williams, and board members, good evening. First thing on the list tonight is the FY22 audit report. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Paul Carson. He's a certified public accountant with Anderson, Smith & White.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Parker. I hope you're doing well. Each of you should have a bound copy of the June 30th, 2022 financial statements. The financial statements cover two main areas that we audit and we're required to issue reports on. One is the financial section, which covers the first 58 pages of the audit report, and then the compliance section starting on page 59. There are a couple pages of financial information in the audit report that I had planned to go over with you. The first page, if you could turn to, would be page 13, which is Exhibit 3. And while you're doing that, Exhibits 3 and 4 are essentially the balance sheet and income statements for all of your governmental funds. These schedules show the fund activities and the fund balance on a fund-by-fund basis. In the first column on page 13, the next to last number at the bottom, you will see the general fund balance as of June 30th, 2022, and that is $7,877,217. That's an increase of about $2 million over the amount reported in the prior year. And one thing we do want to highlight is with all the uncertainty in the economy right now, along with minimum wage increases, rising healthcare costs, retirement costs, we do feel it's important that the district have extra funds in reserve for when the federal COVID relief funds expire in a couple of years. Back during the 2008 financial crisis, the most districts' fund balances increased, and which is what's happening again today. And that was attributable to the federal government also distributing millions of dollars of federal stabilization funds to the districts across the country. And once those stabilization funds went away, most districts' fund balances began to fall back down. So again, we just want to highlight the importance of having those reserves. And looking at the other funds, the other specific revenue fund had an ending fund balance of 2,230,410. Capital outlay had an ending fund balance of 354,640, and individual school funds, $428,682. Overall, these funds appear to be in good financial condition with good fund balance and cash reserves at June 30th, 2022. We'd also like to, you don't need to turn there, but I do want to quickly point out that on pages 1 through 3 of this report is the audit opinion letter that we issued on the financial section of the audit. And we're happy to report that it is a clean, unmodified opinion, which is exactly what you want to receive. Are there any questions before I go on? And the next page, have you turn to will be page, 57. And we'll look at the district school food service fund. This schedule shows the revenues, expenses, and changes in net position or fund balance for the school food service fund. The Child Nutrition Program did report a profit of $1,453,335. In the previous year, the district reported a profit of $1.4 million. So that's a year-over-year improvement of approximately $95,000. And that improvement over profitability was primarily due to increased food sales as the district continued to return to more normal operations during 2022. Cash balances in the program were $4.4 million at year end, which is an increase of $1.5 million over the prior year. Overall, the program appears to be in good financial condition as of June 30th, 2022. Are there any questions? Okay. And then next we'll go on to the compliance section. Again, starts on page 59. Now, page 59 starts the first of 3 letters that we issued relating to the compliance testing over the board's internal controls and expenditures of federal and state grant awards. We're required each year to perform compliance testing on the federal and state grants received by the district. We're required to test a significant amount of payroll and general disbursement transactions, as well as other grant-specific requirements. We're happy to report that these 3 letters are all clean, unmodified reports, which means there are no internal control weaknesses, findings, or question costs located in these letters. Basically, these letters let you know that we didn't note any improper use of grant funds. We feel the district's finances appear to have been expended properly and in accordance with budgets approved by the Board of Education. We did issue, and you should have a copy of a separate letters, 1-page letter to management regarding a matter that we felt was an opportunity for the board to strengthen their internal controls and operating efficiency. I didn't plan to go over this letter in detail unless there are any specific questions regarding that letter. And then also you have a separate 3-page letter that details specific audit items we're required to communicate to the board about. This letter basically has boilerplate language. It discusses there were no difficulties or disagreements encountered in dealing with management during the audit. There are no uncorrected misstatements were noted, and no other reportable issues were noted during our audit. Overall, we felt the audit went very smoothly this year, and the board appears to be in sound financial condition as of year end. Financially, the district appears to be very well managed, and the finances are very transparent. Ms. Haynes and her staff do an outstanding job of maintaining accurate books and records and working to maximize state and federal funding available to the district. We really do appreciate all their hard work in helping us complete the audit this year. Before I wrap up, any other questions? We really do appreciate you allowing our firm to work with you this year on the audit, and we do look forward to working with you again next year. Thank you.
We appreciate you as we appreciate our own finance department. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Ms.
Madam
Haynes?
Chair, I'd just like to thank again Rachel and her department. Oftentimes, you'll find that they are sometimes the first and last folks to leave, to arrive in the building, and particularly as we go around payroll. And other times, they are very diligent on all the things that were mentioned in other parts. And as we've completed the audit process, they worked very hard and put in extra work to make sure we were transparent and had all the documents available to the auditors. So I just want to take this opportunity to, Rachel, thank you and the department again for all of the great work y'all do. Thank you.
And I would like to take the time to thank Meredith, who puts a lot of time into this, along with Susan, Veronica, and Lori, who all work very hard to pull this information together and on a daily basis to help keep things straight. So, and I'd also like to thank department heads, because the audit not only affects us in finance, but it reaches beyond us to compliance testing in all areas. So from EC to pre-K to federal programs. So thank everyone for all their hard work as well. Okay, so moving on, Paul did leave. He has a 3 to 4 hour drive, so he went ahead and left for the evening, but we do thank him for coming as well and doing this in person for us this evening. So moving on the agenda tonight, our next item is budget amendments, and in your packet, there should be printed copies along with your electronic copies. So underneath your audit report, if you'll flip over to your budget amendments. So the next item on the list is FBT 02. These are budget amendments. Amendments number 101, 301, 401, and 801. Amendment number 101 is for the State Public School Fund. It's an increase of $2,595,334. And if you turn over to the second page, we tried to make these a little bit easier to read, so we've detailed the explanation on page 2 of that amendment. As you can see, the majority of the increase is due to the allotment for PRC 071, supplemental funds for teacher compensation, and PRC 130, which is our textbook funds. The next amendment on the list is Amendment 301, which is Federal Grants Fund. And it shows an increase of $5,763,574.57. And if you move to this, or turn over to the second page on that, you'll see the detail of that. The majority of the funding is, as you can see, we've received our Title I, II, III, and Title IV funding, along with our EC funds, the RLIS money, and some additional ESSER funding, and then one new program, the STEM pilot program, which is again an ESSER program. The next amendment is amendment number 401 for the capital outlay fund, and it shows an increase of $196,977. And this is an additional allotment that we went and requested from the county for additional funding for the paving projects that the board previously approved. So if you look over on page 2, it'll show you the difference in the beginning budget and then the increase in those paving projects, and the amendment amount, of course, which the county has funded separately. And then the last amendment is amendment number 801, which shows an increase of $17,000. This is for a grant here at Sheep Harney, Project Launch Grant, and then $7,000 in PRC 096, which is where we fund our teacher on loan, Mr. Roberts, that works with beginning teachers. So that's to cover his expenses. Are there any questions on the amendments?
The project launch grant, what is that? What are those funds for?
Mr. Spence, I'll have to bring you back some information on that. I don't know all the details of the grant, but I'll get it.
Is it general, is some general for, is it for, you don't know?
I don't.
Okay.
But I will get it for you.
Okay, thanks.
Are there any other questions on amendments? Okay. The next item on the list is FBT 03, and this is fundraisers. Are there any questions on the fundraisers that were submitted this month? And then the final item for action this month is FBT 04. This is the technology surplus list that was previously submitted. We would like to ask the board to approve that surplus list tonight as well. Are there any questions on the surplus list that I might be able to answer?
One of the things I'd like for you to go over, there was a question from Board Member Spence at our committee meeting about the surplus list for technology items.
Okay.
So if you would cover those regulations before we move forward with our action.
Mr. Spence, I wasn't here. Can you re-ask your question for me?
I can, but I thought Amber would have been on. I was just asking, so we'd give our surplus to the county to, I think, destroy, I think it is. And I was just wondering if there were any companies out there that we could donate our equipment to help them, like the low income areas or
So
for the community.
there are restrictions on donating property, especially for school districts. So we did some research on this back when we had the bookmobile. And so what the overarching, I guess, outcome is yes, in certain instances, we can donate to another county or government. But then with that, there's even a little bit of restriction in the state constitution that says that school systems should not donate. I think it's Article 9. I can give you the actual article. But we could possibly sell those items to another organization, but I can assure you that typically once we put it on the list for surplus, especially with technology, there's nothing left that most people would want because our own IT department usually strips what we can use off of those things. And then there's with technology, you always have to be really careful and make sure everything's cleaned and cleaned properly before you dispose it, period. So one of the advantages to using an electronic recycling company is they are authorized and they do make sure all those proper procedures are done too, even with the stuff that's considered disposed. So everything's
Okay.
wiped and clean and disposed properly.
That's fine. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're going to move forward and I am going to ask for a motion from the floor for action on those items. So may I have that motion, please?
Make the motion that we approve FBT 01, the auto report, FBT 02, the budget amendments for number 101. .301, 401, and 801. FBT 03, the fundraisers, and FBT 04, the surplus.
And I need a second on that motion.
Second.
Okay. So it has been moved that we take action and seconded. So may we have a roll call vote, please?
Sheila Williams, George Archuleta,
Yes.
Virginia Houston,
Yes.
Sam Pereza,
Yes.
Rodney Walton,
Yes.
Daniel Spence.
Yes.
Okay. The next three items on the list are for information only. FBT 05 is the rental report for October. FBT 06 is the monthly purchasing report for September. And then FBT 07 is the quarterly finance report. So this is the same report that you typically get at the end of the quarter, but just for those that may not have seen it before, to go through the report just a little bit, the top graph is the budgeted revenue by funding source. So that's broken up in percentage with the dollar amounts in the chart beside it. The next two graphs is the budget by purpose and object code. And if you look down below the budget graph in the middle, the two graphs at the bottom are the actual expenses by purpose and object code so that you can compare those numbers to the budget. And then the middle report is just a graph showing you the budget amount and the remaining budget. The second page is the expense summary report for the quarter or for date ending October 21st, 2022. So as you can see, overall, we're at 19.17%. And in funds 1, 2, and let's see, in funds 1 and 2, we are at 25 or more percent, which is where we'd want to be at this time of the year. And as you can see on capital this year, we're at 40.99%, which is well above where we typically are at capital at this quarter of the year. So we have really started moving on our capital projects this year. Are there any questions on any of the reports? And if there are no questions, then that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. And again, I want to commend you and your staff, your team, for the dedicated and hard work that you have done to with this audit and all the other things that you do during the course of the day and the evening. We appreciate all of you. Thank you. Okay. And that takes care of our regular agenda. I am going to ask Dr. Williams to take us into closed session.
A motion for the board to go into closed session as allowed by NC General Statute 143 through 318, 11A6, for the purpose of considering one or more personnel matters that are confidential under the NC General Statute 115C through 320, and as allowed by NC General Statute 143 through 318, 11A3, to consult with a board attorney regarding matters protected by the attorney-client privilege and to preserve that privilege. And the board will resume open session live stream following closed session.
It's been moved and seconded to have the board go into closed session, and we will have a vote of approval for that.
Dr. Sheila Williams,
Yes.
George Archuleta,
Yes.
Virginia Houston,
Yes.
Sam Pereza,
Yes.
Lee Walton,
Yes.
and Daniel Spence.
Yes.
Thank you. Say we're going.